At Healthcare Partners Medical Group, our mission is to provide the highest quality of healthcare to each and every patient. With 5 locations in Pahrump, we are local doctors you know and trust. We want to thank you for choosing us. Quality care starts here.
Yes, I was at the Robbins case this morning, covering it, the opening arguments and the first few witnesses. Essentially, the prosecution's case is that instead of calling the police when 21-year-old Christopher Mundy showed up at their Benson Circle home on August 18th, 2011, the resident of the home, Daniel Robbins, sort of the patriarch of the Robbins family who lived at this home, took it upon himself to deal with this supposed intrusion by shooting and killing Christopher Mundy and also wounding a 14-year-old boy who happened to be with Christopher Mundy that night. The defense attorneys essentially are arguing that first of all, Christopher was warned over and over and over not to show up to the residence, and instead of heeding those warnings, and of course there was a back and forth, an early back and forth between the parents of his girlfriend Jennifer Robbins and himself online that got really heated, at least on one side of the argument, the parent side. Got very heated, and it seems that Chris Mundy wanted to make peace with the parents, and so ended up driving over to the house at 1:30 in the morning. Well, the defense is saying that the parents repeatedly warned Chris not to show up at the house, repeatedly told him that he would be trespassed. Even the mother even said that they would call police, and the defense essentially has told the jury that the gun going off, the fatal shot that killed Chris, was an accident. Now, there was a warning shot even before the fatal shot. A shot was fired into the boy's bumper, the bumper of the car he was driving, and after that, a fatal shot was fired by Daniel Robbins. Now, a witness, before the first witness took the stand, the prosecution played the 911 tape from that night of Kathy Robbins, Daniel Robbins' wife, calling 911 and essentially saying, "My husband just shot a trespasser." And the tape was very chilling. You could hear Kathy Robbins telling the dispatcher that essentially, we told this boy not to come on the property. He came on the property, and my husband shot him. And you can actually hear on the tape apologizing to Chris, saying, I'm sorry, I didn't even know you, but you should have left. We told you not to come on our property. Why did you stay?" Very chilling, very emotionally charged phone call, obviously. In the background of the phone call, you can hear Pablo Flores, the young boy who was with Christopher Mundy that night. And you can hear him kind of getting emotional and asking if he's dead. And then you can hear him calling his older brother, Christopher Mundy's best friend, and proclaiming to the brother, he shot. So it's very emotional. And of course, I had to leave after the morning, so Kelsey Givens took over coverage for us.
Coverage of the Robbins trial in the afternoon, and they started with Daniel Robbins' daughter, Jennifer Robbins. Both the prosecution and the defense had a chance to question her, and the questions were about the jail phone call she had called to Christopher Mundy, and what she had asked him to do, and if she had given him permission to go get the car from her parents' house. And they brought up some things that she had said to a detective during an interview when she was told about the shooting originally. And apparently she had said some things like she wanted her father to stay in prison, and she didn't like him, and she was very upset and emotional about the incident, and has since said she said those things just in the heat of the moment, and she didn't really mean them after reflecting on it for several months later. And the second person to come up in the trial was Daniel Robbins' wife, Kathy Robbins, and the prosecution had their turn to question her today. The defense should be able to question her and take their turn tomorrow when the trial continues. The basis of the questioning for Kathy, they talked a lot about whether or not she had actually called 911 when Mundy first appeared on their property. She claimed over and over again when asked by the prosecution that she had dialed 911. They also asked her about several Facebook messages between herself and Mundy, and between her husband and Mundy prior to the incident happening on August 8, 2011. The prosecution then also read aloud the Facebook messages to the jury so they could see the transactions that had happened before Mundy showed up on the property and was subsequently shot. The Facebook messages were a little bit graphic, contained some foul language, but basically they were just a back and forth. Mundy had requested to be Kathy Robbins' Facebook friend. She denied sending back a message telling him that the family was not willing, not wanting to be friends with him. They wanted nothing to do with him, and they just wanted their daughter back. And it continued. He sent her a Facebook message back, arguing with her a little bit, and she sent another one. And the last Facebook message she sent, she told him not to come around the property or they would call the cops. And that was basically what came out in the afternoon on Thursday.